Let's go Broncos! What if I told you that, despite a dismal offensive performance, the Denver Broncos may have revealed their true colors, and isn't that what everyone expected? I have some insider details from week 1 that you need to hear. From Bo Nix's rocky start to a defensive performance that could shake up the entire AFC, believe me, you'll want to stick around for every second. But before I begin, like this if you're feeling orange and blue, and if possible, comment something like, "Come on Broncos, I believe in the Super Bowl." Something big is happening in Denver, and you won't believe what we just learned. Let's get right to it. The Broncos came away with the win in week 1, but let's not sugarcoat it. This was anything but pretty. It was the kind of game where you walk out with the W, but you're not exactly high-fiving strangers in the parking lot. At the center of this chaotic start to the season was none other than Bo Nix. For anyone who watched this game, it was clear this might have been Bo's worst performance in a Broncos jersey so far. No exaggeration. From the opening snap, Nix looked like a completely different quarterback from the one we saw in preseason. He was jittery in the pocket, making off-balance throws, and far too often tried to be the hero with highlight reel sidearm attempts. It backfired hard. 2 interceptions, a fumble, and just 176 yards through the air. That's not going to cut it, not in this league. There were flashes, like a late first-half touchdown to Courtland Sutton that kept his grade from being a complete disaster. But let's be real, that was a 2 or 3 out of 10 performance. And even that might be generous. Sean Payton's play calling did show some signs of life, and yes, some of the issues weren't entirely on Bo. There were miscommunications with receivers, Lucas Kroll ran the wrong route at least once, and the offensive line let him down on a few occasions. But bottom line, Bo Nix tried to play like he was Patrick Mahomes or Caleb Williams, and he paid the price. The moments he looked best were when he dropped back, set his feet, and fired in rhythm. None of the theatrics, just clean, structured football. That's the Bo Nix Denver needs. Now, let's talk about a much brighter spot, J.K. Dobbins. If there was one offensive player who made a serious impact, it was Dobbins. His agility and shiftiness stood out in the second half when the offensive line finally decided to show up. There was one play in particular, a 12-yard gain, where he danced around defenders and turned what should have been a short gain into a big first down. He finished with a performance that made it clear he's going to be a huge asset to this offense. And then there's R.J. Harvey. This rookie didn't get a ton of carries, but when he touched the ball, wow. 6 carries for 70 yards, including a 50-yard explosion that reminded everyone why he was drafted. His speed and vision were elite on that play, and although he's not going to be the workhorse just yet, he's proving he can be an X-factor. Let's not forget Courtland Sutton. The veteran wideout didn't put up jaw-dropping numbers, but in a game where Bo was struggling, Sutton showed up like a pro. 6 receptions for 61 yards, including a crucial touchdown and a big-time catch late in the game where he shook off a defender to secure a first down. That's leadership on display. That's what you want from your top receiver. He might not have been flashy, but you can confidently give him a solid 7.5 or 8 out of 10. But you want to know why Denver walked out of that game with a win? It's all about the defense. This group was dominant from start to finish and reminded everyone why they're considered one of the league's best. They didn't allow a single touchdown. That's elite, period. Nick Benito, the $106 million man, showed up big time. He was a nightmare for the Titans offense with a sack, 3 QB hits, and significantly improved run defense. He's proving he's worth every penny. His running mate, Jonathan Cooper, was right there with him, nearly getting a safety and collapsing the pocket consistently. Cam Ward, Tennessee's quarterback, couldn't breathe. Throw and shout-outs for Jonah Ellis, Zach Allen, Justin Stranad, they all did their part. And let's talk about Jaquan McMillian. Quiet most of the game, but when it mattered most, on a 4th down blitz, he came up huge. Sacked Cam Ward. Rookie Jaden Barron out of Texas scooped up the ball. Game, set, match, and Vance Joseph deserves a big tip of the cap here too. His defensive game plan was aggressive and relentless. Blitz after blitz after blitz, and it worked. Cam Ward looked like a deer in headlights. He couldn't find his rhythm, his receivers didn't help, and Denver's pressure just overwhelmed him. That's how you welcome a rookie QB to the NFL. So while the offense was sputtering and making fans sweat bullets, this defense proved that it can carry this team if it needs to. That's the identity right now. And heading into week 2 against the Colts, Sean Payton knows exactly what has to happen. The offense has to level up. This defense is already championship caliber. The offense? Not even close. Not yet. There's no need to hit the panic button yet, but let's not ignore what we saw on that field. Bo Nix was rattled, and while you can chalk up some of it to first-game nerves, this isn't college anymore. You're facing elite defensive schemes every week, and if you try to freelance too much, you're going to get burned, just like we saw in this opener. Sean Payton has a serious decision to make going into week 2. Does he simplify the offense and give Bo more structure? Or does he challenge him to bounce back and play through the growing pains? Knowing Payton, he's not going to baby a rookie. That's not his style. He wants his quarterback to earn it. And honestly, that's probably what's best for Bo in the long run. But it also means we could be in for more roller coaster Sundays if Bo doesn't clean things up quickly. Now, flipping back to the defense, it's not just the front seven that's thriving. The secondary made life miserable for Cam Ward. Even when Ward had time, he struggled to find open receivers. Coverage was tight, communication was sharp, and guys were flying to the ball. That's the kind of defensive backfield you can trust to shut down elite wideouts when the schedule gets tougher. And speaking of tougher schedules, the Indianapolis Colts are no joke. They're physical, they're young, and they're hungry. If the Broncos bring the same offensive performance they had against the Titans, week 2 could get ugly. But if Bo Nix can settle in, lean on Dobbins and Harvey, and let Sutton and the receivers make plays without trying to be Superman, there's absolutely a path to 2-0. One thing that shouldn't be overlooked is how the locker room might be reacting internally to this performance. Winning can cover up a lot of issues, but you can bet there were some tough conversations behind closed doors after that game. Veterans like Sutton and Zach Allen aren't going to let sloppy offensive execution slide week after week. There's accountability in this locker room now, and that's a credit to Sean Payton and the culture he's trying to build. This team has a different edge to it. They're not just trying to survive games, they want to dominate. But to do that, the offense has to match the intensity and discipline that the defense is already showing. The spark we saw from R.J. Harvey, don't sleep on that. When a rookie breaks off a 50-yard run like that in his first NFL game, it does more than just show up on the stat sheet. It ignites belief. It reminds coaches that they've got a weapon who can break games open. And it puts pressure on opposing defenses to respect the run, which opens up the rest of the playbook. If Payton is smart, and he is, he's going to scheme more touches for Harvey in week 2. Give Bo Nix more play-action opportunities. Get him out of his own head and into a rhythm. And for all the concerns on offense, let's not forget, this team won. That's huge. Winning an ugly game builds character. It gives your team something to grow from. And when the locker room sees the defense step up and carry the load, it builds trust. These guys know they have each other's backs. They know they can win even when things aren't clicking. That's a dangerous mindset to give a team with this much potential. So here's where we stand, Broncos country. We're 1-0. The defense is elite. The offense is a work in progress. Bo Nix is growing to do. But with the talent on this roster and the leadership at the top, you can feel that something is brewing in Denver. The question now is, how fast can they put it all together? Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and smash that like if you're ready to see this team take the next step against the Colts. There's more exclusive Broncos breakdowns coming your way every week. Stick around, we've got more videos on screen right now, so go check those out next. Go Broncos!